So today I'll be talking about an issue near and dear to my heart, the stereotype of math. But before we get into that, I would like a thought experiment. So please close your eyes and imagine a mathematician. What do they look like? What is their personality? What gender are they? Now you can open your eyes back up, but question why you made these assumptions. Because the social perceptions of the field of mathematics directly affected who you pictured and why. So, as a math major at Purdue, beyond the classroom, I have had people ask me, why do math? You know, it's an abstract field with so little monetary compensation, or sometimes they just blackbox me as this unsocial nerd, which is not too far from the truth, if I'm being honest, but that's beyond the point. It's just saying that I have dealt firsthand with the experience of the social perception of mathematics. Also, throughout this semester, this classroom I feel skews towards the more mathy side. But also there are some of you who still feel that math causes anxiety. Why is that? You ever wonder why? So I would argue in this presentation today that the stereotypes we ascribe to the field of mathematics creates these negative effects in the classroom starting at a very young age, but also affecting working mathematicians or people who use math in their daily lives. Firstly, let's go to the classroom. So society and pop culture paints mathematicians and geniuses as synonymous. You know, you have films like A Beautiful Mind, Good Will Hunting, and my own personal favorite, The Man Who Knew Infinity. These people, through their own innate ability, innate genius, achieve lengths we mortals can only dream of. Is this a good thing? Well, genius is a double-edged word. So you either have it or you don't. Now you start hearing kids say stuff like, I was not born for this, or maybe you've said, I made a stupid mistake, that means I'm stupid. But on the other hand, you get people who are so confident that they don't even study, and they believe that their ability, they're working at the top of that field already, but they can't improve any further. So Carol Dweck, in 2006, terms this in her book, Mindset, which is very famous, terms this phenomenon the fixed mindset, where innate ability determines where and what you are capable of doing, and you can't change that. She estimates that 40% of children believe that intelligence was fixed. Two works illustrate this in the math classroom. So Iriquado et al. Compared two groups of students labeled by teachers as regular performers and people with mathematical difficulties. They used the same tests, and they found counterintuitively that more brain activity and stress overthinking were found in the students who thought they had mathematical difficulties. Now, why is that? Well, because when people are told that they have difficulties, they overthink, oh, is this right, is this correct? But after an identical tutoring session where the bias was completely eliminated, they gave the same result. You know, the differences were virtually eliminated. So UK-based educator, Bowler, suggests in her book, Mathematical Mindsets, that you need to incorporate the opposite of the fixed mindset, the growth mindset, in the mathematical classroom. And students, she found, with growth mindsets had more positive brain activity, even while making mistakes. So a counter-argument to what I'm proposing is that, why does everybody need to like math? You know, it's not something that you need to have. What's wrong with building an ivory tower for the geniuses to go work in their own little corner of the world? But that is precisely why math has a serious gender representation issue. Why? Well, according to the NSF, despite growth in women in STEM overall, math and statistics is growing very, very stagnantly. And there's also a decline in doctoral and bachelor degrees awarded by American universities to people identifying as women in fields of mathematics and statistics. And anyhow, this has always been below 50%, so less than half of a graduating class would identify as female. So can you compare this to your experience at Purdue? So the social perception plays a big role in this phenomenon, because there is no proof, according to a meta-analysis done by Lindbergh et al. In 2010, that gender plays a role in mathematical achievement. Leslie et al. Explored this idea further. So by a survey sent out to leading people in academia, some fields were seen by them as requiring more talent or brilliance. Now, talent and brilliance was tied to selectivity and exclusivity, and this is directly, inversely related to the number of women and minority representation in such fields, which is completely bonkers because, you know, there's no reason for it to be this way. It's just how we perceive mathematics. So in conclusion, the effects of the social perception of mathematics is wholly negative. Modern mathematics thrives on collaboration and input from a wide range of perspectives. The social perception problem that I have described so far drives people away starting at the school level and discourages people already in the field to not perform at their best and drive them to field safe finance. So back to you, what can you do? Well, as with any social problem, the changes start with you. So, do you still see the mathematician in your mind the same way as before?